Welcome, seekers and visionaries, to Oracle Mountain Chats. Here on this sacred virtual peak, we gather a space for oracles to share their wisdom, their visions, and their craft. It all began with a calling I could not ignore. One day, within a vision, I held this conch shell in my hands, and as I blew its resonant note into the world, I felt its vibration ripple across unseen realms. It was a summons, a signal to fellow oracles scattered near and far. I saw that we were on a mountain, vast and towering, reaching into the heavens. At its base, the world buzzed with life, people moving, creating, searching. Yet at the summit, there was stillness, clarity, and a circle of light. There, oracles stood, their gaze focused both outward and inward. They spoke of the energies they felt, the shifts they saw, and the whispers of the unseen. They weren't above the world, they were its witnesses and its guides. From this vision, OracleFest was born, a celebration of connection, insight, and the timeless wisdom that flows through us all. Here we gather as oracles to share the visions Spirit whispers to us, to speak of the energy currents flowing through nature and humanity, and to help guide those who seek answers in a world that often feels lost. So grab a seat, breathe in the mountain air, and join us as we begin today's chat. Whether it's an energy reading, a conversation about our craft, our path, or simply sharing a perspective on the world below, this is where we wait for more oracles to join us on the mountain. What wisdom will the mountain bring us today? Let's find out together. Step into this sacred space where the wisdom of the ages converges with the questions of the present. Alrighty, and here we find ourselves back on this Oracle Mountain Peak. This time I'm joined by Kelly Sullivan Walden, who has a great alter ego or maybe moniker, separate name, dual name, which is Dr. Dream. And I'm so excited to talk with her because we've been chatting a bit already, and I can see how in sync a lot of our interests are. For those of you who don't know, before I started teaching empaths in that intuition development program that I did for years, I actually did a dreaming course because dreaming is actually one of my earliest ways that I knew that I was tapped into something greater than what we saw in this world. So I'm very excited to hear more from Kelly about Dreamifesting. So welcome to this virtual Oracle Mountain Peak, Kelly.
It is such a joy to be with you, Kate, on this Oracle Mountain Peak. Oh, I love it so much. It's a little chilly, but I'm loving it here with the
Do like a
wind
breeze.
and yeah, it's there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. And I'm loving actually right now, maybe just like the color geek in me is loving how my colors here are very like red, orange, warm, and you've got this like amazing, cool, like feel. So just had to have like a little moment for that.
We're so in sync. Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
And so I want to ask, as we're sort of just getting started, you're a dream expert, and a lot of people, I think, like forget about the power of dreaming because it seems like
Yeah.
something that just happens willy-nilly, and sometimes they're lucky and sometimes they're not, is often kind of the
Right.
experience I get. So what drew you in the first place to like realize the power of dreaming in your own life? I'm so curious. Big
Um,
question.
I know, I know. Do you have 5 years for us to talk about this?
Mhm.
I'd say the beginning of it all came from when I was little. I have four sisters. My sister closest to me in age, Shannon, a year and a half younger. She and I have a very, very, very strong psychic bond, and we would have tandem dreaming experiences where we would find ourselves in the same dreamscape, seeing each other, knowing that we're dreaming, being somewhat lucid, and then this is what we would talk about over breakfast cereal the next day. And this was something that would happen regularly. My mom remembers coming into our bedroom in the middle of the night, yelling at us for talking in the middle of the night, but we were in bed talking with each other while we were asleep, and we weren't being naughty as she thought we were, but we were just, she was like, what is going on with this conversation and these girls? So that was early days, beginning of me having a sense that dreams were something powerful. They seemed like something secret that my sister and I had this like secret Narnia space that we could go into together. And there was a particular nightmare that we both had about a witch chasing us around a turret at a like a in a castle, and we would talk about, oh my God, this witch, and we made a plan in our waking life that we would distract her and we would throw her off, and we did in the dream. So there was this, so as silly and as simplistic as that sounds, there's something very profound that we both understood as little girls. I mean, I was like, this is between 5 and 10 when we were having these experiences primarily. When Because in waking reality, it's a formal training, it's a very formal practice called imagery rehearsal therapy that is practiced at Harvard, where people that have recurring nightmares, whether from PTSD, from war, from sexual violence or anything, they're taught to make a plan for what you're going to do when you're back inside that dream, and the dream ain't over until you're powerful. So there is, I always like to say, a nightmare is an unfinished dream,
Mm.
because you have the final say. You, the dreamer, have that power. So that was my early days. So that was a long way of answering a very short question, but that definitely set a foundation that was profound. And then there's a lot more that happens after that, but I'll stop there for now.
Absolutely. Oh, that's so beautiful. Like I have a sister, a younger sister, and I can absolutely see how like that didn't happen to us. I dealt with my dreams alone in the basement while the rest of my family slept upstairs. And I had
Yeah.
like I was actually sleeping over ancestral heritage items and I was getting all these psychic dreams and it was
What?
so I'd like fall out of bed and then see this like sword underneath my bed and be like, ooh, okay, and then go to sleep or try to. And so I had a very like,
Oh my
isolated
God.
experience, but similar. And I was around that same age, like 4 or 5 as well, when
Uh-huh.
they were like really rich and starting. So I can imagine though, because my sister and I did have quite a lot of like connection and telepathic kind of moments, how easily that could have happened if we were in the same room, right? Like I really
Right.
yeah, it makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
um, and so
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
you've gone through your life, then you've learned how much more in different areas, and it feels like you were very quickly, easily initiated and empowered to take action with your dreams. And then you got
Yes.
this book called Dreamifesting. So it makes me think that maybe you've been able to create something through your dreams actively. I'm so curious to know little bits of what you
Sure.
can tell us about this.
Yes, but in terms of like my story, there's a big chunk of time when I turned my back on dreams, because I had turned toward the outer world and all that blings, and I was an actress for a few years in my early 20s, and it was like, forget you dreams. I'm all my psychic energy is about becoming the world-class people pleaser. Do you want me to be mean? Do you want me to be a like bubblehead? Do you want me to be a killer? Do you want me to, like, what do you want from me? And I'll be that. That was it. All that mattered was what anybody else wanted from me, whether they be a boyfriend, a parent, a casting director, a producer. I just became this, it's like I lost myself at some point. After so many Me Too propositions, like it's so many people I know from that time, that was like the early 90s, will say, "Oh my God, so many Me Too moments." And I'm like, "Wait, we need to slow that down a second." That was grueling. It was like living through a war of, well, if you want the part, all you just have to do this, you just take off your clothes and sleep with it. There was so much like psychic attack. And the
Mhm.
fact that I was a good girl from a good family. I grew up Catholic. I had so much sexual shame that there was no way I could do those things, but yet I wanted what they were offering. So I was just twisted up. And the fact that I was ignoring my dreams during that time, because they were all horrific, they were all just nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. I thought, who wants to pay attention to any of that? So I wasn't paying attention for many years until I hit a crisis point where I stopped wanting to be alive. I became obsessed with the myriad of ways I could take myself out. That became my obsession until I finally got into therapy, 12 steps, healing of all different kinds. I finally became a hypnotherapist because saw a hypnotherapist, and so many of these healing modalities came to my rescue and gave me little breadcrumbs, little techniques for how to stay on the planet and not be so barraged by the negativity that I'd bought into. And I didn't know at some point there was a relationship between kind of my soul loss and my lack of paying attention to my dreams. So I don't mean to like shame anybody for not paying attention to dreams, but for me, I discovered there was a direct relationship to me being in tune with my dreams and being attuned with my soul. They were synonymous. And when I did start to get through therapy, I started to work through some of my all these painful memories and painful feelings. I was starting to get my dreams back. And yes, they were nightmares at first. So I had a therapist that told me a nightmare is an unfinished dream. She was the first one to tell me this, and that was a life and game changer because then I started to go after my dreams. I started to stalk them. I started to look for what I stopped turning my eyes away from them, and I started to invite them, knowing I could change the narrative at the end, whether in the dream or in my waking state. And that was like, that became my thrust into becoming a therapist and becoming somebody who helped other people to work through their stuck places. And dreams, I didn't know that dreams would become the through line, but it because dreams are sneaky that way. They sort of happen in the background. But without me even trying, dreams became kind of my magic carpet that led me through my life until I started to write my first book. And I was meeting with an agent, and she was like, "This is it. Oh my God, I got to tell you more dreams." Anyway, she was the one that got me my first book deal. I wanted it to be about goddesses, but she was like, "No, no, no. You're the dream goddess." I'm like, "Can't I just be a goddess?" She's like, "No, you're all about, you're the dream person." I'm like, "Me?
Oh,
Okay, all right, fine." But that kind of set my trajectory, and it's been 13, how many books now? This is my 11th book, Dreamifesting, that is coming out soon. And then, so 11 books and 7 Oracle decks later, and there's more to come. And that brings me to you, Kate,
I
to
love
Oracle Mountain.
Yeah, that's what you got you here, all the way to Oracle Mountain. Well, you come toting quite a lot with you, you know,
Yeah,
in a good
exactly.
way, in a good way.
Phew. Right, right.
Yeah,
With each thing I create, I think I get a little lighter actually, because the
I
psychic weight of carrying a project is so dense. Every time I write something, it's like, I can be a little more present now.
true. This is a perfect reframe for anyone who's in any creative venture right now and feeling a little weighed down by your idea. Is like, actually, did you forget the relief that comes from it? Because you do. I often
Yeah,
say, like,
it's true.
I'm writing 2 books, like I was mentioning before to you, and I need that because it helps me when one slows down, the other one has a lot of energy, and I can,
Yeah, so smart.
and yeah, thank you. Not just like,
Hmm.
Kate.
No, it's so smart to always have at least two projects going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Just because you're not then like putting this heavy expectation on it. A lot of people do
right.
that because they've only maybe been charged with that one idea so far.
Correct.
They're staring at it, and it's very difficult for anything to grow when you're like, it's like a watch pot never boils, that same
Right.
feeling. But often when I've had like a vision come in for my life, it feels almost like a 10-ton truck. Like there's a big weight to, oh wow, this is a lot. It's not just the
It's
thrill
so
and
true.
excitement of like
It's so
purpose.
true.
And then the relief comes as you take action. And so people wonder why I'm
Yeah,
so like, obsessive about taking action on things that I see. Like it
right.
feels better and lighter the more that I get off of my psychic plate, you know?
It's so true. What did Edison say that inspiration is, wait, what did he say? That like creation is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, yay! Oh my God, I'm going to do Oracle Fest. Oh, wow, that takes a lot of work. I gotta make phone calls and emails and okay, but if the inspiration is strong enough, then it can carry us through.
It like leads you forward, and often
Yes.
I'm trying to step out of the way because it's wanting to move through me. And dreams are like that. Dreams are like wanting to like arrive to
It's
you.
and then you need to like clear the
Yes.
way or something to like allow
Yes.
them. Yeah, tell me what that brings up for you.
No, it's so true. It's just such an interesting thing being human because we're here and we tend to so right now you and I are on Oracle Mountain. We're awake having this conversation. I think there's something unique about Oracle Mountain though, where you get to be both conscious and in the and physical, but we're aware of the non-physical. And we can feel it, we can sense it, we can even see it, we can smell it, we can taste it, we can hear it, but it's subtle. It tends to be subtle, and it's the easiest thing in the world when we're down on the valley below to just be oriented in the physical and to dismiss, discount, disregard all that we can't see, taste, and touch and feel, as opposed to like taking it as if it was the most legitimate thing. These whispers are so legitimate, and I think this is one reason why I love oracle cards. I mean, there's the notion of everyone has an oracle within them, aka their higher self, their God self, their goddess self, their internal wisdom. But sometimes when we're oriented in the logical, linear world of like results, spreadsheets, documents, it helps to, if we want to have a little bit of a shift towards that more liminal space, then it's like we can grab an oracle card. It's one way to be able to go, okay, it's not a big, heavy difficult, mind-bending thing to do to shift from being dense to being more in the space of the magic. We can simply pull a card. We can just take a breath, ask a question, pull a card, and then all of a sudden it's like we're transported and we suddenly get to elevate to Oracle Mountain without having to climb it, sweat. It's like really that's why I'm such a fan of oracle cards and why I've made so many, because I feel like it's an elevator to that higher place, and it's uncanny. It does it every time. And we can be in this world but not of it, and have the magic around us without becoming like some of us get too far in the airy fairy and we lose our tippy toes on planet Earth, and that's no bueno either. That's not good for us. But we need to have, I mean, we're striving towards that beautiful balance of being able to really be here. We signed up to be in this world. We don't want to lose that, but being so aware of those subtle nudges and dreams. I think whenever we remember a dream and speak about a dream, it puts us in that in between. It puts us on that Oracle Mountain where we're in the in between, but also above the ordinary. And suddenly we have a higher perspective about whatever our challenges are. We all have a challenge every day. There's not one day that goes by that there's not some little rub. But when we can elevate, we're like, ah, I get where this is going. I see the pattern. I see the template here. I got this. I've been here before. I got it. So anyway, I don't even
Love
know what
that.
your question was, but
Oh,
it all roads lead back to the Oracle Mountain.
yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Oracle cards. So I was hoping you might be able to like maybe draw some Oracle cards
Mhm.
either for our renewal podium, which
Sure.
we're going to be participating in December 20th,
Sure.
or for our bigger Oracle Fest, which we may call Oracle Palooza because you gave that idea to me and I do like it. But we'll see what ends up coming through. But the big Oracle Fest, end of January, I love just receiving insights from our fellow speakers about what they see happening for Oracle Fest. It's a good
Oh.
moment for us to, yeah, tune in or receive. And I was going to say just about the dreaming piece as well. Like there's something beautiful too. It almost gives our brain a break because we have
Hmm.
like no choice but to receive. And I'm really big on receptivity because if we can be calm here in the physical and open and receiving, that's how we're actually in both worlds, as it were. And
Yeah.
often dreams, like they'll put someone else in the situation or they'll give you like a cryptic code so that it gives you a
So
break from
true.
analyzing directly, you know?
Well, in some way, I mean, I mean, this is kind of the main essence of dreamifesting is we get to be very practical when we go to sleep. Before we go to sleep, ask a question about what's going on in your world, but don't focus on the problem. Don't focus on how am I going to fix this? Just simply pose the question.
Mm.
or identify the area that you want your dreams to help you with, and then go to sleep, have your dreams, make sure you remember something upon awakening. And if it isn't exactly a dream, your dream adjacent thoughts,
Yeah.
those are valid enough because they tend to be kind of, and they're valid enough. And then consider that whatever you remember from your dreams is an answer to the question you posed. So it's
Mhm.
really this beautiful dream sandwich. And then you have to take action. That's what separates the ordinary folks from the dreamifesters, from the ones that actually do something magical. I mean, you, case in point, you're living in a magical way, Kate. You're not living this prescribed life that is typical. Not that there's anything wrong with an ordinary life at all, but it seems that when we're hearing the whispers of our spirit, we tend to get visions or dreams, and then you got to take action on them. You got to suit up and show up and do something in the physical world. This is like what we came here to do. So I would say you are a dreamifester, whether your wisdom or guidance came exactly from a dream or from that dream-like part of ourselves that is always whispering to us. It's not just about the nighttime dreams. It's about the
I
dreaming
say that a
part of
lot.
our
There's
mind where
like
all the answers are.
daydreaming is still that same, and I know because you do hypnosis as well, that like
Yeah.
I had a hypnotherapy session with Carrie Ann actually that I'm releasing publicly on my Heart's Frontier healing
Oh,
page.
wow.
Yeah, I know, she let me do that. And it's like, that's so nice.
That's beautiful.
It
God
really
bless Carrie
opened.
Ann. We love you, Carrie
We
Ann.
love Carrie Ann. Yeah. And she showed me she was wearing a smartwatch. We just did this yesterday, so this is really timely. And she showed me she was wearing a smartwatch and it logged it as deep sleep when we were in the hypnotherapy session, which is not surprising to me, but it blew my mind how clear and connected it was, like joop, 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 like fully deep sleep. And she says, I barely get any deep sleep. So this was really incredible for me just to see how possible it was in this supported way. And yet she's talking the whole time. How amazing is that? Like, it's so cool.
That is so cool.
So
Oh my
nice.
God. Hypnosis is, I mean, yeah, there's all these different ways to get, is really basically bringing her up to Oracle Mountain, which can be that dreamlike place where you're still talking, you're still aware. Oh my God. So which deck should we pull from? I have some of my decks. I've got the most recent. Oh, this is this is the one in French.
Okay.
I've got my decks. I pulled the French one. That's funny.
Love that.
L'Oracle de Animal Rêve. It's wild animal dream
Okay.
cards. I've got the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. Just this is the first deck, the Dream Oracle cards, and then Luminous Humanness. So I'll let you pick of these which
Ooh.
one you're. We're gonna treat the cards as if they were oracles themselves. So, and then the other one is I'm gonna drop. So
Yeah.
there's
You know what?
The French one.
I'm feeling drawn to the luminous humanness.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Okay, so just because I know time is of
Yep.
the essence, we'll just do one, and
Okay.
it'll be a message for you, but for all listeners, watchers, viewers, energy vibers. So let me invite you, Miss Kate, to contemplate a particular question that, and ooh, one just popped out of the deck. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm
go
an
with,
Oracle flyout gal, so that's
yes, me
usually.
too. Flew right. This is a fun one. Okay, what was your question first?
My question actually was like, what do I need to know to help encourage the growth of Oracle Fest worldwide, like growing it really far and wide?
Okay, beautiful. So you got the card called Backstroke Through Your River of Gold.
What's that?
And I'll just read a little bit from it and I'll just tell you what was okay. So there's always a little inspirational quote. And this quote is it says, wherever you are, you're always in the right place. There is never a need to fix anything, to hitch up the bootstrap of the soul and start at some higher place. Start right where you are. Julia Cameron. Here's the message. What if, amid the challenges or unresolved issues you face, you remembered there was a river of gold running just beneath the surface of your life? This river of gold is the current of the divine, and it's running through you. You don't have to run around hunting for it. Knowing it's there will draw you to it. Imagine you are there now, upon its shimmering shore. Take a deep breath and dive in head first. Let your thoughts become drenched in divinity as you float and backstroke through your most illumined state, where you can feel the resonance of your alignment with spirit. Soak in the realization that you are overflowing with so much prosperity, spiritual and material, that you don't even know what to do with it all. As you do this, your biggest challenge becomes no longer how to create more. It's what to do with your abundance as it continues to multiply due to your compounding interest. When you drop deep enough, all becomes golden, and you can suddenly see that no matter what you're going through, you are a prosperity magnet who always has more than enough. Mantra. I bring my highest awareness to my challenges and watch them dissolve before my eyes as my spiritual guidance leads me to my inner and outer gold mine.
Wow.
Ta-dee!
I love it.
Backstroke,
That's
and
also
it comes
very
from
image,
Luminous Humanist.
luminous humanness. I love the sound of that. That's just so appealing. The sound of that oracle deck.
It should be a song.
Yeah, yeah. I was already kind of making a little song here. Maybe I'll make it into
Yeah,
a song at some point and I'll
yeah,
send it to Lisa.
exactly.
Thank
What
you.
was coming up for you?
Thank
Yeah.
you. Oh yeah, it's so beautiful because I was actually in the back of my mind, my first thought was thinking about like what about funding and how can I like make sure that like I give it the resources it needs. And so this backstroke thing is like I was just swimming recently, wild swimming in the Lake District in
Oh,
England. And
oh,
then right after that, like a couple days after, I went to this entrepreneurship festival where there's also founders and funders and like venture capitalists
ooh,
and really fascinating. Like felt really, really strongly that Oracle Fest is going to get everything it needs in some way. And so this like easygoing swimming energy combined with that was like so perfect. And even the
oh my
images that
God.
kind of felt like Ophelia in the the image of Ophelia. And I always loved
Yes.
Ophelia as a character of like surrendering to all that is beautiful and good and love. Obviously the madness piece we can just scratch out, but it's so beautiful though, really. This like
Right.
feeling of just like swimming and enjoying with everyone. Like I kind of see like all the Oracle Fest folks, like we're all like otters, just like playing with each other in this river. So
We could just say, just to not deny anything, like the Ophelia, the madness is maybe not, she didn't have community because she was tapped
yeah,
into like an enormous passion, enormous
yes,
feelings, deep. And so many people that are drawn to Oracle Mountain also resonate so deeply. And when if you're all alone in that, then you seem like a weirdo.
yeah,
But like I mean, like you're a unicorn. You just need, we do need a little bit of support. We need some people to be able to share our deepest feelings with, our highs, our lows, and it's a beautiful gift to get to be a deep feeling human.
it
And
is.
so yeah, I think, but I love that deep, that like that swimming, that like, I love that you have that visceral memory of swimming in the, what did you call it? Wild swimming?
Yeah,
And that ties back to, I'll just say this little piece about dreamifesting, just to, leave people with, because so much in the realm of goal setting and manifesting. So dreamifesting is like dreaming plus manifesting, but it's a different kind of manifesting. It's leaning back on the dreams and the dreaming mind to do some of the heavy lifting. So it is about having a goal. Like you showed up at this event with like, I want to get funding, I want to get support, I want so that I can, like, the hard material funding. But sometimes the best way to materialize isn't to like just do more, be more in that frenetic way that we might think we should, but to drop all the way in and backstroke in the river of gold and to feel that we are funded, that we already have the support, because we already really do. If we drop deep enough, all is gold. And then to take that feeling of overflowingness and then still show up and have the conversations, but have them not from a place of desperation, but have them from that place. And I call this, the distinction is between the ego goal and the soul goal. The soul goal in encompasses what the ego wants. So it's not like you can have either or. You either get the outer world or the spiritual world. You have to pick. No, you can have it all. But as C.S. Lewis said, it's like if you go for, what does he say? If you go for the spirit, you can get both. You get earth thrown in. But if you just go for the earth, you get neither.
Yeah.
So it's like going for the soul goal that envelops that. Of course, the universe wants you to have Oracle Fest and or Oracle Palooza and or all of these things. I'm just throwing that in. Of course it does. It would serve the universe. But the how you go about it from a place of the soul already has this. What you need is already here. Past, present, and future, according to Einstein, it's all collapsed. It's all here. So you already have it. So now proceed from a joyous, excited, curious place, like a little kid playing this magical treasure hunt here at the top of Oracle Mountain, and where it's all like it just comes. And it's
Yeah.
like, ooh, what do I do with all this?
That's the piece I really loved about it. Like what a fresh idea. Just to say like, oh, what if that's not our problem? What if our actual challenge will be what can we do with all of this? Like that's a very different, that's a different realm to play in than
And
our.
we mostly think that like it has to be hard or we're not working hard. But
Yeah.
I love this quote from Michael Beckwith who says, pain pushes until inspiration pulls.
Mm.
So knowing that, okay, if I'm not still motivated by pain, well, then inspiration will pick up where that left off. So I'm still going to do stuff. I'm not going to just become a couch potato. I'm going to still make things happen, but from a totally different energy. So that's the nature. When I talk about what is dreamifesting, that's the nature of it. It's being inspired and taking inspired action because we want to be a part of this world. We don't
Yeah.
want to just sit and like ohm all day long, a little bit, but not all day. We want to get in and have these conversations and meet with the people and do the things. It's like, yeah, from an
Well,
inspired place.
love it. Inspired action is one of my favorite terms and phrases to throw around, not surprisingly, I'm sure. And Einstein's
Yeah.
like my celeb crush. I used to have his poster up when I was in college. I'm not even kidding you, Kelly. I've never had a boy band poster. It's like Einstein and Humphrey Bogart.
Okay, that's so telling.
Yeah,
Such
I
an
know.
old soul. You're like, my hall pass would be Einstein. It's like, oh, really?
I'm a safe
Okay.
bet in relationships. Humphrey Bogart and Einstein are my guys, you know? It's like we don't have any reason to worry.
Okay, that's hilarious. I love it. Old souls. That's a telltale sign. Walk into a dorm room and see Einstein and Humphrey Bogart. Hmm. Not just a typical like Britney Spears. Woo! Not that there's anything wrong with Britney, but
No, of course not.
old souls.
Yeah, it's a weird place to end things on, but it also feels light as well. So I'm gonna let us end this here and
Yeah.
invite people to, if you want to hear more, of course you do, from Kelly Sullivan Walden and learn more about this dreamifesting idea. Go get the book because the book will be out by the time we actually meet for the renewal podium. But
Yes.
of course, also come join at the renewal podium. Maybe you can ask questions after you've read her book or gotten one of her Oracle decks, right? I love that some of the Oracle Fest folks actually go and purchase the Oracle decks of our speakers because they're looking to
Mm,
connect even deeper. And so, as we meet again this next big Oracle Fest year of the end of January event, maybe people will get the chance to actually ask a question that has been burning all year. How exciting! So, thank you for
yeah.
being here. And we will
Thank you,
post
Kate.
info below. We'll share this out, of course. And I'm so excited for you to join us for the renewal podium December 20th.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. And thank you again so much, Kate, for inviting me to Oracle Mountain to be here with you. It's such an absolute privilege and honor. I love your spirit. I love your energy. I love the way that you are dreamifesting the magic around you and allowing it to come in and spreading it around. It's just an absolute dream come true to get to frolic at the top of Oracle Mountain and maybe create the peak into a plateau where there's room for
Yeah,
all to join us.
plateau with constant construction, I keep seeing.
Yes, exactly. Oh, and there's another mountain over there. Okay, yeah, but still, there's room for everybody. It's not just this like harrowing peak where we're like, hold on.
It's so beautiful, it really is this plateau. And then the starseed people kind of beam down to us. It's a fascinating.
Exactly.
place. So thank you for seeing, understanding the vision, being here. Obviously, this is the stuff that allows my dream to come true. So thank you for that. And we will see you December 20th.
Sweet dreams until then.